Hey everybody, Tim Dwyer here. How you doing? Well, it is Friday again, and I just want to throw a few things out there that you might want to have a chat to a few of your mates and friends and family members about over the weekend if you're catching up. Um, you know, I don't I don't know how much actual evidence people will need to take action or what will affect them to take action to stand up and literally protect their loved ones. So I'm going to play a little bit below the belt. So hopefully this will trigger some people and let them get out there and start jibber jabbering to their mates and see what they have to say about this. Think about this. Think about this. Australia's schools, children are exposed to asbestos sand in nearly so many schools, so many play centres, so many daycare centres. This lovely, pretty sand. Yeah, it's laced with asbestos. And you know what kids are like. They'll toss it, they'll breathe it, they'll eat it, they'll do whatever. And think about this, asbestos takes 20 years pretty much to really get in and start affecting the lungs. So when all these beautiful little innocent children, that whoever the mongrel bastards were that marketed this sand to all these innocent little children, they should be hung, drawn, and quartered for a start. But shame on the education department and health department for not picking up on this. So let's have a little look. The Australian children have been exposed to asbestos sand, and a recall shuts more than 70 schools. This was November the 17th, just recently. Australia is waking up to one of the most disturbing product safety failures in years. Disturbing, bloody horrifying, horrifying to think that they would expose children to this. Coloured play sand used in homes, childcare centres, schools across the country have been found to contain tremolite, asbestos. The discovery has forced closures of more than 70 schools across the ACT and Jervis Bay territory, with South Australia and Queensland now confirming their own affected sites. The scale of this failure is staggering, and parents have the every right to be furious. That's if they bloody know about it. Or you know about, we must be clean and green. You know about having to buy battery operated cars, like can't buy, you know about all that shit. We know about the pride flags everywhere, but I bet you they're not running around a big ag campaign on explaining to every parent out there that this stuff has now affected their children's lungs, whether they know it or not. These products have been sold from 2020 right through to right now, and the retailers, the major ones, Kmart, Target, Officeworks, I'd be starting bloody lawsuits on these people right from the get-go. Anyway, so this is a trust issue. We have an inept bunch of lunatics, sociopaths running the country from the top of Parliament all the way down through the public sector, all the way through. And it is shocking to see how inept and unqualified these people are, but here we find ourselves. So who can you trust? Well, let me get stuck in. Trust. Trust is a must. And the government supposedly puts themselves out there as, trust us, we will protect you, we're here for your safety. Really? I'm glad to hear that. What is the meaning of the word virus? I come across this the other day. The name virus comes from the Latin word, right? And the virus, which means venom or poison. And here's where I got it from. You go check it out. So let's have a look at some of the more common viruses that I'm suggesting or asking the question, have these viruses been spread via the injection of a venom-based material? Viruses are tiny germs. Yeah, viruses are tiny germs. Let me just shift that out of the road. Viruses are tiny germs that cause the most common infections all over the world. Very good business model. The current COVID-19 pandemic. Whoa. The common cold, influenza virus. Anybody get the flu virus shot? Yeah, okay. Chickenpox, mumps, measles. Anybody get vaccinated for any of these? Get your kids vaccinated? Herpes, hepatitis, conjunctivitis, and on it goes. You got to wonder what's in the vaccines, safe and effective, that is creating all this. Just got to wonder. I'm just asking the question because, quite frankly, I've lost all trust in any aspect of both medicine and government. So let's have a little bit of a look here at some of the past bullshit that the government has promoted. You know, like it's pretty exciting stuff. In 1966, they said oil will be gone in 10 years. 67, they promoted that there was a dire famine forecast by 1975. Overpopulation will spread worldwide by 68. In 68, everyone will disappear in a cloud of blue steam. The world will use up all its natural resources by 2000. And keep in mind, this is all scientific, put out there by the science fraternity and promoted by all your pretty faces on the news, and the fear and it was amazing. Decaying population will kill the fish. There'll be killer bees. Oh, well, in 1970, they said we'll have an ice age by 2000. I guess they were wrong there. America would be subject to water rationing by 74. I guess they were wrong there. A new ice age coming by 2020 or 2030. I guess they're wrong there again. A new ice age now by 2070. Oh, they're wrong again, I guess. Another ice age, ozone depletion, and to great peril of life. Peak oil in 2000. In 1980, they said oil will be peaked out by 2000, yet we're still pumping it. Regional droughts, right? In 1990s, right? Well, we always have droughts. They only got that one right because it always happens. Temperatures in Washington, D.C. will hit record highs. The Maldive Islands will be underwater by 2018. Oh, well, they got that wrong again. Children won't know what snow is. Oh, well, climate change, fear, terror, disaster. And people like these that you see here and hundreds of others are reading teleprompters, looking sincere and trying to sound very sincere because we're not too sure that we'll all survive this terrible pandemic, right? It's bullshit, right? Every ounce of government is bullshit. Manhattan will be underwater by 2015. Oh, they got that wrong. The Arctic will be ice-free by 2018. Well, they got that wrong. All this stuff. Look, this just goes on and on and on and on. And every one of them was wrong. Wrong every single time. People like these people here that read the news today, they read it as if it's a fact, when in actual fact, it's bullshit, lies, deception, fear-mongering, misinformation, disinformation, produced by science, told to you by the trusted faces of the news. They're not your friends. They are liars, fearmongers, and they get paid to do it. This is where it comes from. This is the bullshit manufacturing centre of Australia. the great majority of people that are elected into that place and all the staffers that are in there, they are fearmongers. They thrive on misinformation, disinformation, and they wouldn't know, not one, like the CSIRO was being defunded a fair bit, about bloody time, because they're as dumb as dog shit in there. Told to you by the trusted faces of the news. Now we get told about $1 billion. Oh, this is going to cost $3 billion. This is going to cost $5 billion. What's a billion? Well, I want you to look at the number of the top. It is $1,000 million. Now, I want you to think what you could do with $1 million. I want you to think of what you could do with $5 million. $1,000 million. Think about it. They spew these numbers out as if it's just fluff, and we hear it so often we think nothing of it. It is $1,000 million. The investment challenge, how much will it cost to hit our net zero? Well, estimates vary, but the cost of this transformation are immense. A 2023 report by the Grattan Institute, and they're not real bright, estimate that achieving 82% renewable electricity by 2030 would require over $100 billion investment for the generation, transmission, and storage infrastructure. So that is $100,000 million. Let that sink in. Think about that. 100 billion. $100,000 million. And the lunatics in Canberra and Jim Chalmers and all the rest of these guys spew these numbers out like nothing, because you, me, your kids, their kids, they have to pay for it. Not the nupties in Canberra, not the Chinese mates that are building all this crap. They're going to make the money. This country will be impoverished for at least a century. Climate change are the made-up catastrophes used by the globalists to instill fear and guilt so as they can tax, regulate, and remove our freedoms while pretending to save the planet. Remember this turd? Al Gore. Al Gore. He said in 1993, we only have 10 years to save the planet. In 2003, he said we only have 10 years. In 2013, we only have 10 years. In 2022, Al Gore we have 10 years left to save the planet. He is a busted record getting paid millions. See this? There are those who say that this is steam. I just happen to have a bit of knowledge about gases, what they do, how they work. And water vapor does not carry chemical residue in it. Now, if a plane had that much chemical residue coming out of its engine, it would fall from the sky because the lubricants in that engine are dissipating real badly. Real badly. I'm sorry. They poison the air. They poison our water. They poison our food, and we trust them. Oh, the health minister says it's safe. Let's go down to Glenelg Beach amongst the plume and breathe it in deeply. How many people down in the coastal areas of South Australia are now having respiratory problems? They're coughing. They've got pneumonia. They just can't shake the cough. I'm just asking the question, because whatever the hell's bubbling up and coming up to the shore and those bubbles breaking, that's airborne bacteria. Get the hell off the coast. The cost of hosting the COP summit could reach $2 billion. Now, I know they've said they're not going to do it, but $2 billion. So that's $2,000 million. I don't know how inept these people are. I can't believe that it would cost $2,000 million. They use the term 2 billion just, oh yeah, no problem. But think about it. $2,000 million. This country's about $1 trillion in debt. $1 trillion. And every time there's an election, someone says, oh no, we're better at handling our fiscal situation. Really? Oh, Lord, in the morning. Fair income. I think you need to go back to bloody school and get the counting blocks out again. See, $100 billion, what would $100 billion do to fix this country instead of pissing it up against the wall on green energy? Look at the state of our roads. Look at it. They want to drop the speed limit down to 70 or 80 kilometres an hour. They don't want to spend any money on the roads, but they'll buy wind turbines, batteries, solar panels. They'll charge across people's private land. They'll just do all this rubbish. And then they complain about the road toll is going up, so we have to slow everybody down. No, we should be allowed to drive faster. The cars are supposedly safer. They've got every imaginable safety aid possible in them these days. And they need that because the drivers can't drive. They come into this country with a Weet-Bix license. But look at the state of our roads. Would $100 billion make a difference to our roads? I think it would. Now, think about this. You wonder where your money's going. Lamb prices, price of lamb chops, leg of lamb, up between 79 and 158% above the previous year. This was done on the 20th September 24. Your electricity prices are up. Your gas prices are up. All four banks' profit is up. Your rent is up. Your house price is up. Your quality of life, it's down. And if you think you're going to vote your way out of this crap, you've made a mistake. If you think your kids are going to be safe going to schools, daycare centres and all that stuff, you've made another mistake. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm fired up because I'm sick to death of watching supposed intelligent adults lead their family to the bloody slaughter. I'm sick to death of watching bloody politicians stand there dressed in their nice, expensive suits, prattling on about some crap with 4 or 5 nodding heads behind them. They're like little dogs on the back shelf of a Valiant, nodding their little heads. This country deserves far better. You deserve far better, and for God's sake, your children need you to demand far better, because when it gets down to this low, when we have had the race to the bottom, and now I believe we're hitting the bottom, when they will poison the bloody children in the daycare centres, in the schools, with asbestos, slow murdering asbestos, and they do nothing. They allow it to happen in the first place. Come on, people. We're bloody better than that, aren't we? Aren't we? Talk to your mates. Talk to your family. Because time has come to literally ditch this mongrel bunch, the entire lot of them, Liberal, Labor, Greens, the whole bloody lot. Drop them flat on their ass, kick them so hard that their nose bleeds. And I'm a great proponent. I believe that tar and feathering should become the new national bloody sport. My name's Tim Dwyer. Have a great weekend.